This is Tools for Teens, where the smart gets smarter. Today's lesson is all about prompt engineering. Let's get into it. Welcome back to Tools for Teens, where the smart gets smarter. Today we're looking at prompt engineering. What I like about prompt engineering is that it forces you to use language in an effective and efficient way. And if you think about it, this actually helps you in communication, not just with AI, but with humans as well. So it's actually very cool because what we learn here today, you can use when communicating to your friends, your family, or even your teachers. One more thing before we get into prompt engineering is that I want you to understand that these models are getting better by the minute. So that basically means that the deeper and deeper you get into prompt engineering, the more diminishing returns you get at the end of the day. I personally think that we're very close to a point where AI knows exactly what you want and when you want it. So we're going to approach this with a 20-80 rule mindset, which brings us back to the Pareto principle. Because with the 20% I'm going to teach you here today, I believe you can get 80% of the results. Okay, so let's get into it. The first hack that I want to teach you is meta prompting. So meta prompting is basically when you prompt an LLM to formulate a prompt for an LLM. Let me show you how this is done. ChatGPT, please help me create a prompt that I can plug into an LLM that will produce a tutorial based on a transcript of a lesson that I have taught. I want it to be concise and in a step-by-step fashion, let's say bullet point format. So as you can see, because I'm using this voice extension, it sometimes still makes mistakes with interpreting what I'm saying. So ChatGPT turned out to be something like JackiePT, but I think it got the gist of it. So let's look at the prompt that I got. I will provide a transcript of a lesson I have taught. Please extract the key concepts and structure them in a clear, concise step-by-step tutorial. Format the tutorial using bullet points. Tutorial should be engaging and while keeping the core message intact, provide relevant, complex, and it even gives me an example input. Here's the transcript of my lesson and an example output. So now you can see with meta prompting, I can just ramble on, give it context, and then it spits out a pretty decent prompt that I can now go and test out in Notebook LM. So that was meta prompting. The next big hack that I want to teach you is ELI5. What does that stand for? Explain like I'm 5. Let me show you how this works. So I'm going to ask ChatGPT to explain quantum computing to me like I'm 5 years old. And the only thing I need to write is ELI5 quantum computing. Let's see what ChatGPT gives me. So now you can see that ChatGPT is really breaking it down in simple terms. Imagine you have a regular coin. If you flip it, it will land on heads or tails, just like a normal computer, which stores information as zeros and ones. But now imagine a magical coin that can be both heads and tails at the same time. All right, so it's creating analogies and imagery and making it easy to understand for normal people like me. Okay, so let's get into the juicy stuff. This is a 6-step prompt framework. And I have to be honest that this is actually based on a document that I read recently in one of the newsletters that I follow. So I've been through various courses on prompt engineering, and I feel that this is very much in line with what I found as well. So what's the first step in this prompt framework? We're going to start with task. So you want to be super clear about what you want within your prompt. So I can, for example, say, suggest a workout routine, which is pretty vague, or I can be more specific and say, create a 30-minute home workout routine for a 16-year-old with no gym equipment who wants to build muscle. The second prompt is really going to give you what you want at the end of the day. The next point is context. And what I've learned in my experience is that you can never actually give too much context. Here you can see you have 3 key details to include. So who are you? What is the goal? And what is your situation? An example would be, I'm a 16-year-old high school student who struggles with math. I have an important test in 2 weeks and need a study plan that fits into my busy schedule. So now the AI understands exactly where you're coming from, and now you can continue on with your prompt. The next powerful tip is examples. This is also called few-shot prompting, and this is basically when you show the AI exactly what you want at the end of the day. So here you can see the example prompt that says, write a short motivational speech like a sports coach giving a pep talk before a big game. And then in parentheses, see example below. And then you copy paste an example of something that the AI can use as a reference to actually give you the correct output at the end of the day. Then we get to persona. This is a very interesting one, and I see this being used less and less because at the end of the day, AI is getting smarter. But what you can do is you can sort of prime the AI to think in a certain direction. So you would say something like, you are an expert at sports science and fitness. Now you're putting AI into that thought process. An extra tip here would be to ask the AI to explain something like a college professor. And that means the AI puts itself into that persona and the tone would be more academic at the end of the day. Or getting back to ELI 5, you can say something like, explain this like you're talking to a 10-year-old. You get the idea. And then we get to format. So you have to decide how you want it written down at the end of the day. An example prompt would be list 5 ways to stay focused while studying in a bullet point format. And AI can produce an array of formats. So from bullet points to scripts to paragraphs, you can get creative with this and you can decide exactly what you want at the end of the day, just include it in your prompt. Another interesting thing that you could do is you can ask AI on a scale of 1 to 10, how difficult do you feel this text is for teenagers? And then it's going to analyze the text and say, maybe an 8. You can then prompt the AI and say, let's bring that 8 down to a 3 to make it really easy. You get what I'm saying? And finally, we get to tone. So you get to choose the vibe you want. Here are some example prompts. Explain this in a chill, casual way. Write this like a stand-up comedian. You can even prompt an AI to write this as if it were a rap song. The sky's the limit, and I can't wait to see what you come up with in terms of tone. So let's finish off this lesson by putting everything together into a great prompt. You are a fitness trainer who specializes in helping teenagers. Create a beginner-friendly workout plan for a 16-year-old who wants to get stronger but has never been to the gym before. Use bullet points for clarity, keep the tone casual and motivating so it feels like advice from a friend. I think that's a pretty good prompt. I hope you have fun with this. I hope this was useful. I can't wait to see what you come up with and what you can achieve with good prompting. I'll see you in the next one. Stay adaptable.